This is Moses for the Hook. Delighted to be joined by Dev Sahni. Dev, firstly, how are you?
I'm good. We've been meaning to do this for a while, I think, and it's never been the right time or occasion, but we're here. So I'm happy to be talking to you. I see you around at a lot of shows, doing your thing, getting some interviews in. So congratulations on getting out there, and nice to be talking to you.
Thank you. From your story, you've gone from, I think, marketing. You're in a marketing role to, working for Box Nation. I guess I want to know why you left the marketing to pursue the Box Nation and the boxing stuff, and what gave you the confidence to sort. It's all right. I guess what gave you the confidence to sort of go from your job, your 9-to-5 job, to pursuing this.
Things just happen. It's crazy. It's a crazy old life. So I worked in marketing completely outside of boxing. I was a big boxing fan, loved it. I would stay up and watch all sorts of boxers who no one had ever heard of because I just got the bug. Ricky Hatton gave me the bug, essentially, and I was on Boxing Scene every day, looking up the latest news, checking everyone's records and stuff, and watching old fights. But that was never my job. My job was just marketing, as you say, digital online stuff within travel, stuff like that. I even worked, my first job was for an opera and ballet company. I was like a marketing assistant for them. It all just, I just thought I was stuck in that kind of marketing world. And then I sent my CV to Box Nation, and it was a good CV. It wasn't just a kind of one-pager with some black words on there. I turned it into a YouTube homepage. So that kind of big square in the middle was me pointing at all of my attributes, right? So like very attractive, very funny, but it would be more, stuff to do with work, etc. And
those things are true, though.
Stop. And then like the search now button, instead of the search now button was a hire me button. So eventually it landed on the right desk, and they got in touch about 6 months after I'd sent that CV saying, we've got a role at Box Nation, digital manager, we'd like you to interview for it. So they'd already been interviewing people, but they interviewed me for it as well, and I ended up getting it. And what gave me the confidence to then go from marketing to this kind of stuff, at school I'd take part in the plays and stuff. I was Aladdin. I was the only brown kid in the year, but I was Aladdin in like the school panto. And I've always felt comfortable speaking to an audience. So when opportunities were coming my way, which can happen in this small world of boxing, I would just say yes. Like, do you want to do the Box Nation podcast with Steve Lillis? Cool. Like, I'm there because it meant it was great for them. They didn't have to hire in an extra presenter. And I was just there on salary, so I put myself forward for stuff, they choose me for stuff, and it just worked, and it has been working.
Yeah, it has. Were you doing anything in boxing while you were doing your marketing role, or were you doing anything outside, content creation or anything like that?
No. So my role at Box Nation was digital manager. My job was it wasn't even like social media, that was like, we had an agency doing that. My job was to manage relationships between Box Nation and we had a live streaming company as well, there was Sky, there was Virgin, all of that kind of stuff. Look after the website, because the way to subscribe to Box Nation was via the website, and we needed to make that more of a e-commerce website where people can convert on there, which is something experience that I had at previous roles. So, what was the question?
Did you do any freelance boxing before you joined Box Nation?
No, nothing at all. I was just a boxing fan. I went to see Mayweather versus Maidana 1 in Vegas. I think that was just before I got my job at Box Nation. So I was just into it, but I'd never thought to do anything. I had a full-time job. It wasn't a thought. Yeah.
And how does it feel now, calling this a full-time job? In your mind, is it a job, or are you just living your passion every day?
It's a cheesy quote. It's a quote that everyone uses, but when you have a job you love, you never work another day in your life. And more often than not, that is true with my stuff here in boxing. I do enjoy it. And it doesn't really feel like work, especially when you're just in there. I was up there doing the press conference today, trying to stir it up between some of the fighters, getting to speak to Moses Itauma, Ezra Taylor, Willie Hutchinson, and that's not work. That was fun. How can you call that work? I'm up there having the time of my life. So yeah.
Am I right in saying your first presser was it over Zoom, over Teams?
Yeah.
In 2020. What? Just talk to me about that. What was that like?
In COVID. So yeah, I had a role at Queensbury at that point, which was some sort of. I might have been some sort of press/social media or something. Again, it's quite. There can be quite small teams. You end up wearing a lot of hats. So we couldn't do in-person press conferences because of COVID bubbles, etc. We still needed to generate hype for upcoming fights, and Queensbury were the first to bring back boxing after COVID. So we couldn't do a presser. They asked me to do a digital presser, and I'd never done one before. I was like, oh, okay, this will be interesting. So I'm just sitting there like studying in like Max Kellerman, doing face-offs with Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather and all of that sort of stuff, just for my little Zoom with Brad Foster and James Beach Jr. But I enjoyed it. And got them to face off at the end as well. So one's looking that way on their screen, the other one's looking that way, and it was just good fun. And from that, obviously, I did well enough for them to then use me in the COVID bubbles and then beyond.
And then that first live presser, what was the feeling like for that?
I remember when, so it was in the bubble, and I remember people asking, "Oh, who's hosting it? Who's going to host it?" And like people say, "Oh, Dev's going to do it." And I remember people going, "Dev's going to do it?" Like, what? Dev's going to be doing that? And things like that fuel me so much. Like when I see reactions like that, people doubting me. So I smashed that presser, smashed plenty of pressers since. But yeah, what was the feeling like? Nervous but comfortable. I didn't feel out of place up there, as much as I may have looked out of place to some others who didn't see me in that role. I knew I could do it, and I knew I could do it very well. So I just fancied myself to do it, and like, why not? My thing is, if not me, then who? Why should that other person be getting to do it? Why not me? Why not me? I back myself. I love the sport. Speak relatively well. Why not me?
I think that's a great mentality to have, and something that I've sort of come to realise as you do your own thing. It's like, at the end of the day, no one really sort of cares as much as you think they do. And if you don't believe in yourself, who is?
Who will? You got to believe in yourself, mate. Exactly what you said. If you don't believe in yourself, what's the point? You might as well pack up and go home. And there's going to be plenty of people telling you along the way, and you'll get this as well, telling you that you're rubbish, your interviews are rubbish, and they're not, by the way. They're good. I watched your one with Eddie Hearn again, very, very, very good. But there will be people trying to perhaps damage your ambition on the way, and you've just got to keep that fire within you pure and protect it from any outside influence.
And in this is sort of, I guess, when you were doing your marketing role, did you envision you sort of doing this as a full-time job when you gave in your application to doing the role advertised by Box Nation? And if so, like, I guess the goalposts have shifted, right, in terms of ambition. What do you think you can achieve in what you're doing? Is the sky the limit?
So to go to your first question, did I think that this would all happen from it? No, but I did. I remember I went, in my first few weeks of Box Nation, I went to the studio. So Bunce's Boxing Hour, did you ever watch that? So there was a studio, Steve Bunce used to do a weekly show, and I remember getting a picture taken just sat on the sofa, and I felt, I thought that suits me there, as much as other people could say it didn't, but my parents liked it, and they was like, that suits you there, and I kind of ended up pursuing that and kind of driving towards it. I didn't think it would happen when I joined Box Nation though. There was two parts to your question, and the second part was,
I guess, where is the sky the limit for you in terms of what you can achieve in the sport?
Don't put limits on it. I'm very ambitious. I think I can do anything if I put my mind to it, and that is my plan. I feel that there's room for me to grow still, and I'm very much looking to grow.
Awesome. And do you know, in terms of the preparation for doing a show like this, there were so many people on the stage, they had to do it in 3 parts. Like, what does preparation look like for you? And is it a case of preparing, or is it a case of, I know all this stuff anyway because I consume it as a fan? Like, also as well, like, how do you differentiate the two? like between watching it as a fan and then doing it for work as well?
Yeah, it's both. There is preparation where a lot of these guys, I know their story. I've been around it and I've been following it casually. Like I might go back and watch now an interview from someone who's going to be fighting in a few weeks' time, just like for fun, so to speak, not even necessarily going to be working alongside them. But yeah, there's a bit of that, just knowing it, and then I will prepare. I will check their Instagrams. I will watch their interviews with smaller outlets who they may have said something to them. They may have said, "I'm better in every department. I'm going to knock this guy out," and they may not have said it to the bigger outlet, but I will find the quote and then present the quote to them. That's kind of one of my tricks to these pressers, but it does take a lot of prep. Opening speeches as well. Today wasn't really the format for a long opening speech, but I will write out what I'm going to say and I'll go through it with Mrs. Sahni. Normally in Fight Week we'll be on FaceTime, we're going back and forth. She knows my lines, I know my lines, and then we just deliver on press conference day.
I guess you're confident in your preparation, and I guess that stands you in good stead. And I guess it's sort of as well. If you're confident in your preparation, it gives you the confidence to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, I think so. I'm always prepared. Like my default, because I've got good knowledge of the sport as it is. My default is always a certain level of preparation. Then it's just a case of topping it up and making sure for that specific thing, what are the stories, what are the lines that I'm going to be using, how can I push this fight, what's the narrative. It's a bit of that as well, but yeah, it's all very interesting. It keeps me on my toes, certainly.
We are here in Manchester for Mr. Moses Itauma, Jermaine Franklin. Moses Itauma, just 21 years of age. What strikes me about him is his mentality, his he seems to be wise beyond his years. Interviewing him and going to the gyms, etc. Like, what is it about Moses that I guess stands him in good stead and gives people the belief that he can go on to become heavyweight champion of the world, do you think?
In terms of the belief in him doing that at such an early age, I think it's because he started young, so he learned all of the techniques essentially as a smaller fighter. He started at like 9 years old. He's not an Anthony Joshua who came to it later. AJ was 18, 19 years old, and he learned everything as a big man, right? Moses learned through the weights and he got bigger and he had growth spurts. So there's that, there's picking up the skills so young. There's the wise head on young shoulders that comes from, I think, being around older brothers who can help nurture him, help guide him. And I think there's also there's a kind of stoicism, and for me that comes from the sort of Slovakian side. He's got a bit of Slovakian, a bit of Nigerian. It's all thrown into the mix to get everyone very, very excited about this. And then you throw in that he's a southpaw, then you throw in that he punches really, really hard, and then you throw in that he punches really, really fast. I don't think there's a lot of heavyweights that can live with that. So that's why there's so much excitement about him. And he's English speaking and he looks the part.
And I guess Ben Davidson as well. I mean, he has he's under the tutelage of Ben Davidson, who, we've seen with Fabio Wardley and Justice Hooney, where, there's that viral clip of him sort of showing him what punch to use, and he did it. So I guess that helps as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Ben Davison now has a world heavyweight champion in the gym in Fabio Wardley. That's all going to help. That's all going to help raise Moses' game like it must do, knowing that the stuff that Moses wants, Fabio's got it right now. Like, it'll raise your game.
And in terms of Jermaine Franklin, he's not been down in his career so far. This is quite a big test for Moses, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, on paper, it looks like a big test. Never been down, never been stopped, and been in with some big heavy punches. But he's never been in with Moses Itauma, and that could be the difference.
Awesome. And then the co-main event, Willie Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor. I mean, Willie Hutchinson's so relaxed, but Ezra Taylor is as game as they come. And you know that from his previous fights, he's left no stone unturned. That'll be a cracking fight.
It's a brilliant fight. I can't wait for it. I was surprised that it got made. It felt like Ezra needed that Louis Edmondson fight to tell us where we were. But Louis Edmondson pulled out, and now he's gone for what I think to be a higher up fight. Willie Hutchinson is a world level contender. So the ball's on Ezra Taylor to pursue this, properly pursue it, ask for it, which is what Willie Hutchinson mentioned, and believe that he's going to win. I give him full credit. He's he's a great character, and I wish him well. I wish Willie well as well. It's going to be a tough one for me because I like both fighters. I get on very well with both fighters. So I think we're going to get a great fight.
And final question for me, because I know you got a dash. The heavyweight stable in the front war, seems like he's cornered the market, and he's almost starting to see the fights coming through. Derek is already Deontay Wilder, and then you've got the small matter of Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley. Just a word on those fights.
Yeah, there was a moment at the press conference where Frank just sort of held court and explained, we've got everyone apart from one guy, Alexander Usyk, right? So he's in a great spot, and it's been part of his plan for many, many years. I think actually started back when Tyson Fury's resurgence happened, when he came back in 2018, and Frank got him, he signed Daniel Dubois, and it kind of built and built and built, and then they've basically got a hold of pretty much everyone, and it's great to see, and he's matching them as well. He's not shy to match these heavyweights. Look, Daniel Dubois against Fabio Wardley. What a wonderful, wonderful fight, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to come.
Awesome. Dev, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you.